Hello and welcome to WVU Extension Today. I'm your host, Joel Brown. Let me be the first to wish you a Happy New Year. Goodbye 2020, hello 2021. Today we're going to learn all about New Year's traditions. Let's see how some of our neighbors and our friends from around the world celebrate New Year's.
Hello and greetings everyone. I'm Dennis Scott, WVU Extension Associate Professor and Community Engagement and Global Awareness Specialist. I'd like to wish you a very happy new year from the WVU Extension family. Goodbye 2020 and hello to 2021. With this New Year's theme in mind, today's program will highlight different holiday customs and traditions from various WVU alumni, students, faculty, and staff. We'll share some ideas for a healthier year and maybe even a beverage recipe or two.
First of all, hello, I'm Jorge Artiles, and I hope everybody's staying safe. Wear your mask, and let's celebrate our holidays in a great way. To me, New Year's means a new beginning, and it's a great tradition where I grew up in the Dominican Republic to celebrate big the New Year, all within the family. We typically have a large dinner with very good food. And then we also have a chance to dance and celebrate what is yet to come. And also remember how the year went by.
Traditionally, I'm from Ethiopia, and traditionally we celebrate New Year on September 11 or 12, depending on whether it's a leap year or not. It's generally an Orthodox timetable, but the whole country unifies and accepts that as New Year for everyone.
So I'm from Vietnam, and in Vietnam we have actually we celebrate two New Years. The Western New Year, which is what the Americans celebrate, and then we also celebrate the traditional New Year, which uses the lunar calendar. Usually it falls in the late January or early February, and that's actually our biggest celebration of the year. Whenever I think of New Year, it's like a new chapter. It's hope. It's a big celebration where you get to see families, relatives that you don't get to see during the year, and you get to do a lot of fun things together, eat a lot of food.
Really the favorite part about the new year is that recognition that there's a lot of new energy. People are willing to try new things. It's, coming out of the stress, if you will, of the holidays and also the joy of that, but then getting back to normalcy. At this point in life, it's about, hey, there's some new opportunities, new work for us to engage in.
Togetherness is the first thing that comes to mind, because it's a great time to come together with our families. Since I immigrated here, it's kind of hard sometimes to go back to the Dominican Republic or to Puerto Rico, where my wife is from, and spend time with family, but we have our own family, our own children, and we look forward to having them join us and be with us. And when that's not able to happen, then we get a little sad. So togetherness, being together, and having a good time together.
So like the rest of the world, I guess, New Year's is really a time for, renewal of resolutions and commitment to family and friends and so on. So there are a lot of things that go along with that in Trinidad. We have this whole process of making sure everything is clean as we approach the new year. There should not be any dirty laundry in your house. The house should be what we call spick and span. And also, as you gather with family and friends, is a time to kind of reconnect, so you start the New Year's off in the right way. There is that general philosophy, or I guess superstition, that whatever happens on the new year is what is going to take place throughout the year. So you really want to make sure that you start that new year with the things that you cherish the most and you want to continue throughout the year.
When I think of New Year, of course, first thing come up in my mind is a lot of food and a lot of free time. In Vietnam, usually you celebrate a New Year, the traditional New Year for 3 days. So the first, the second, and the third. So you get to visit your friends, families, and teachers also. And we eat a lot of food and spend a lot of time together. So whenever I talk about New Year, of course, it's thinking of what's coming next for the new year and hope for a better year, but also thinking about the time you get to spend with your family for 3 days without thinking about work or school or things like that.
New Year is kind of like a good experience for me because my whole family, we travel 200 miles to the west of the capital to be with our grandmother. And every family in that, the whole family comes together and celebrates there. They cook different kinds of food. They usually do like chorus together and like different types of stuff. We like dance, we play some traditional music, and that's a nice memory. So it's a reset for me because I get to forget about everything that day and just be with my family and celebrate New Year's.
Actually, if I should say, many times after you celebrate with your parents and you wait for the New Year, there's several traditions. One that we inherited from Spain, where you take 12 grapes and you eat one grape each time you hear the counting, to the New Year, 12. 11, 10, and then you have a grape with each one. But then afterwards, if you're still young and have energy, like I said, you go out and you meet other friends and you wait for the sun to come up, because that way you are there when the new day starts.
So growing up in a Mexican household, we had a few different traditions, and the one that we participated the most in was when the new year we would watch the ball drop. That was like a big one that our family did. And when it was midnight, we would fill up a pot of water, and it's a Hispanic tradition that you fill up a pot of water and you go outside and you toss the pot of water outside, and it kind of lets out the old year and brings in the new year. So that was one thing of kind of letting go and cleansing. And throughout the day, we would celebrate. We used to live next door to my grandma, and my grandma would clean the house all day. She would sweep with the door open and brush all of the dust out and get all of the dust out from inside the house to again, it's again with that cleansing and clean, starting off the new year fresh and clean. So lots of cleaning and the pot of water, throwing a big pot of water out to bring in the new year. And then we had this dessert, it was called buñuelos, and it's kind of like a fried flour tortilla. And the dough, we make the dough, and then you fry it up, and then we put, or my grandma would put, like a cinnamon sugar mixture on it, and it was really delicious.
For my family specifically, we worship our ancestors, so we also put decorations up in our altar too. And so that's a few days before the New Year. When the New Year comes, our family would get together, close family would get together, me, my parents, my brother. We will pray our ancestor, welcome them home for the New Year, and then we will say, good wishes to each other. And traditionally, my parents will give us children a little red envelope with some lucky money in it. It is some kind of like a wishes with, prosperity for the new year. And we will in turn wish them, health and things like that. And then after that, we will, if we live nearby relatives or grandma, grandpa, we'll go and visit them. And then, the first day you get families coming over, and we sing karaoke. We eat a lot of food, and we gamble. It's the thing we do there. It's like, try your luck for the new year. Of course, we use the lucky money to gamble, and of course, just eat, sing karaoke, play games, watch a lot of TV, and then you can just rotate from houses to houses. So yeah, for 3 days straight, nobody's gonna complain that you watch TV too much or you eat too much.
So, as I said, it starts off with that all-year celebration. So, traditionally, there has to be some kind of mass thrown in there. Not necessarily midnight mass, because you want to be back home to celebrate the new year with family and friends. The key ingredients for a good all-years party would be food, drinks, family, friends, and really good music. And so those would be the things that you would have at all years. So traditional foods, traditional drinks. We have things, local drinks like sorrel and punch creme, which is kind of a version of eggnog, and local wines, a lot of local wines. And then our local music, which is called parang. It's Christmas music is what it's called. It's a version of South American, traditionally Venezuelan folk music, combined with Trinidadian calypso. So it's mostly sung in Spanish, so 95% of the population does not know what is being said, but it's the tempo that's really important, so you can dance along with the music.
So we didn't have anything specific, but it was always one of those, hey, it's a new year, let's do something special. So what we would typically do is have homemade biscuits, and then we would get to open something that my mom had canned earlier in the fall that we were saving, right? You can apple butter or strawberry jam, and then you get to save it because that's what you canned in the fall, and it's supposed to sustain you through the spring. So we usually would just make biscuits and have one of my mom's special homemade products.
Okay, well, for sure, you will have rice with pigeon peas. We call that guandules, although my wife calls it gandules. So we have a difference in how we pronounce the same word. It's delicious, it's delicious. And then you have some sort of meat. You can have typically pork, like a roasted pork. Pork is more traditional in the islands. And you have a variety of other food items. For sure, also what we call a potato Russian salad, which is delicious. I cannot go through a holiday season and wait for a new year without eating it. And then it's interesting because we have other items that are also served, like a kibbeh, which is something we inherited from the Lebanese immigrants that came to the Dominican Republic long time ago. And it's delicious. And to drink, you know how you all drink the eggnog here? Well, there's a version of that too. And one of them, my wife makes a killer one. It's a coconut eggnog, but it's really called coquito. And it's a Puerto Rican recipe, which is really delicious. Very, very, very good.
Growing up, my mom would buy sparkling cider. That was a big one that I always remember having. And then as we got older, champagne was another thing that we would toast to the new year and bring in the new year.
You know, our local foods would be around Christmas time. We have something called pastel, which is a play on the tamales. We do have, it's very strange, and I don't know where the history of this comes, but you must have apples and grapes. And Trinidad being a tropical country, these have to be imported, right? But it's always a staple at Christmas. Not sure what the origin of that is, but as far as the meal itself, ham is a traditional thing we have, baked pork, and then a whole lot of other combinations of local foods.
In Ethiopia, generally, they have a food, it's called doro wot, and we usually cook that food. It's a holiday food, and we usually eat that together on a big plate. It takes a long duration to make that food. It's a spicy food that's made from chicken and different types of Ethiopian indigenous spices, and it's basically a stew. You can consider it like a chicken stew, but you eat it with flat bread called injera, and you do that together as a it brings people together. So we usually do that together, and that's a typical holiday food. Yeah.
So I'm from the south of Vietnam, so we usually have watermelon. I think it's the symbol of watermelon is the round fruit with like red color inside, and it's sweet, so it's not a good thing for the new year. We also have, my mom will make like a simmer, like a braised pork with eggs, and we eat with rice. We also have like a Vietnamese sausage that we eat with pickle. And we have the traditional cake that we make for the holiday. It's called Tet cake, and it's usually wrapped with banana leaves with sticky rice and pork inside for like the savory option, and you have like mung beans for or banana for the sweet option. And then it depends on the family, but that's what my family usually do.
I think the new year is important because it brings closure to a previous year, in which you have a time to reflect about what have you accomplished, what have you done, and then it gives you an opportunity to think anew, to think about what's next for me, what's next for my family, what I can do next to improve somebody else's life, and in my job, what can I do to really take extension to the next level for all West Virginians.
It's important to recognize that not every culture celebrates that the same way. For me personally, I do see that as kind of, there is this cross-cultural recognition that we're thinking about celebrating the past but really focusing on the future. And that's what that new year provides some opportunity for. And that's why people looking ahead to that social or personal change is so important. And with our work, it's a way for us to set aside what happened the previous year and to say, let's build on those successes.
The new year is important because it gives everyone something to look forward to for the things that maybe they didn't accomplish in the previous year. It's something that it gives you goals and gives you an objective, and it gives you a purpose of something exciting, something to look forward to and accomplish and keep moving forward. I think everyone wants to better themselves. I think it's innate that people want to continue growing and becoming a better person or more successful. And I think going into the new year, people want to be more prosperous and be successful. I think every new year is a fresh opportunity to be more successful than you were last year.
Why is it important? I think it's a time to really reflect on, the past year, and a chance to think about what would you have liked to improve. For me personally, I always have the mantra that I try to be a better person today than I was yesterday, and I think the new year reminds us of that and gives us a chance to say, okay, stepping forward with a new leaf, what would I like to improve? And so professionally, personally, chance to make improvements.
One is its religious significance. In religion, New Year is where you forget about what you did in the past. Not forget, but come clean about what you did in the past and move forward with good intentions. And the second one is it's a psychological thing where you take a break, for a day from all the cycle of life and just celebrate what life has given you. And that's, I mean, in Ethiopia, they might not describe as such, but it's generally it's generally like that. The vibe and all that is generally just psychological and religious values. So yeah, that's the same thing for me as well.
I think it is important because it's just like I mentioned earlier, it brings hope to everybody, but it's also the time of the year where, you know, you put away your work and other things to actually spend the time with your family, like for a few days straight without doing anything else. So I think it is important to build a strong relationship within your family and your relatives too. You don't get to see them throughout the year, and then this is the time where you get to see them, talk to them. So I think it is a very good tradition and a good excuse to, you know, see each other, spend time with each other, build a stronger relationship with each other and help each other out. And I think it is very important that we put aside that time to do that, regardless of what's going on.
Put on your dancing shoes. Next up, we learn how to merengue.
All right, so everybody, one of the ways that I actually relax and loosen up after a long day of work is through dancing. And as many of you know, I grew up in the Dominican Republic, which is an island in the Caribbean. We're part of an island, actually. And merengue and bachata are autochthonous dances of the Dominican Republic. And merengue sounds like merengue, right? Like the dessert. Is a very old dance that was created in the Dominican Republic, and it was refined during the 1930s, where they brought chamber music into it. And it's very, very nice and very easy to learn. So I'm gonna show you how you can do this on your own, okay? So let me put this over here. And one of the things that I'm gonna show you first before we play the music is actually how easy it is. Well, it's easy to say. But basically, if you were with a partner, as a man, you hold this arm up, you hold the lady here, and then you start almost like marching. So look at my feet, you can see that you're almost like marching. And the whole trick with merengue is that all that you move really is your feet and your hips, not your upper body. Your upper body stays in place. So it's the same thing. You're almost like walking, like marching, but you're moving your hips. So hit it. It almost sounds like a march, right? So you start moving to the side, lifting your feet a little bit. See? You're moving your hips. You can rotate. Move to the front. Move to the back. If you have somebody else, you can just take the hand and turn around. You can also turn yourself. So, this is merengue. It's very simple. There are a bunch of other little steps that you can have. But frankly, it's a phenomenal way to actually, when I was growing up, that's how you met the girl. That's how you will, date. You will go out, you will take the girl dancing, you will dance merengue, you will dance salsa, which is, salsa is originally from Puerto Rico. And my wife is Puerto Rican, so she taught me how to dance salsa. I hope you enjoy this. Create a playlist of merengue music, and you can try it and enjoy it, and I hope you do. It really brings a lot of happiness to me, and it's actually good exercise too. So with that, enjoy.
Next up, we head into the kitchen and learn how to rethink our drink in the new year.
Today we're going to be looking at a family and nutrition program called Rethink Your Drink. Rethink Your Drink is a program that aims at reducing the sugar intake of individuals in the community. You can do this by reducing the consumption of sugary beverages like pop. Going into your New Year's celebration, and however you like to celebrate, we hope that you can incorporate one of these recipes as a healthy alternative to a beverage that you may consume on New Year's Eve. So our first beverage is called we like to call a no-mosa. Today I'm going to be doing a 1/2 cup of orange juice and a 1/2 cup of sparkling cider. And there you go. Very easy to make, and it can be a healthy alternative to an alcoholic beverage for New Year's Eve. Our no-mosa, 100% orange juice and sparkling apple cider. That's really good. Our next drink that we're going to make, infused water. And it's going to be infused today with strawberry and kiwi. Cut up your strawberries, that way it infuses into the water more. I've already washed my hands, but before you get started, make sure you wash your hands before cutting or prepping food for other people. And we have here a water infuser, and we're just going to put our cut up strawberries into the infuser and our cut up kiwi. Okay, and we're going to fill this up with water. There we go, it's that easy. And this is just one of the numerous recipes that our family nutrition programming puts out for infused water and different water recipes. And you can put this in the fridge, let it sit overnight so the water gets fully infused, or you could drink it right away. But the longer you let it sit, the more the water will be infused with whatever fruit or herb you decide to put in your water. If you're gonna make large batches like this, make sure you use all of the water in it before you make another batch. Always start a fresh batch. Thank you, and I hope that you can incorporate one of these two recipes into your New Year's Eve celebration.
I hope you enjoyed some ideas for a healthier, happier New Year and learned a little bit about different cultures and customs. As we close, I'll challenge you with a goal-setting tradition I learned from some old family friends. It's called the secret envelope. You can start this tradition with either children or adult family members. It's pretty simple. All you have to do is write down 5 things that you want to do in the coming year. Just fold up a piece of paper and seal it away in an envelope. It's almost like writing a secret letter to yourself. Next New Year's Eve, gather around with family or friends and open the envelopes together. Take some time to reflect with each other and look back on the year. What goals did you accomplish? What fun did you have? Did you have unfulfilled dreams that you can achieve later next year? It's a fun tradition to start, and it gets even better as you go and do it year after year. And then you'll have time to look back on your memories. For a young child, this activity is like a little time capsule, as a year seems like a long time. Help them make realistic and achievable goals, so they have something to celebrate at the end of the year. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you too have many things to celebrate in 2021. Here's to a healthy and happy year.